We got Rory and Tommy both in the mix in Abu Dhabi. We got Ben Griffin winning golf tournaments in Mexico. It's been a great week for pro golf. We're going to talk about it here on Golf with Mitch. Ben Griffin is having an absolute killer year. This is a breakout year by far. He's been playing professional golf for a few years. He's no rookie, but this is his third time winning this year. He won this weekend in Mexico at the Worldwide Technology Championship. He shot 29 under par, won just a little over $1 million in a fall tournament, but it's fun watching him play. He's an incredible golfer. And looking at his scores for this weekend, he shot 65, 65, and then went 66, 63. And it was interesting hearing his press conference and be able to shoot a 63 on Sunday to get the win is incredible. The guy's got some stones. He's learned how to win, and he talked about that in his post-round press conference. He specifically said he's learning how to win, and that definitely is a learned skill. It's something that you get more and more used to. Just ask Tommy Fleetwood, right? He's struggled for a long time not knowing how to close a tournament, and he just barely did at the end of the season in the end of the FedEx Cup playoffs. But Ben Griffin pointed out that he's learning how to win. He's getting more and more comfortable down the stretch in golf tournaments, and it's fun to see. Something that was interesting about this win for him this weekend in Mexico was that it was his first time not being in the final group on a Sunday and winning. His other wins this season, he's been in the final group going into the last round, but this time he was not. So there's definitely a debate there of whether or not that's a better place to be, trying to chase someone and maybe have a little less pressure. You can attack rather than defend. But it's always nice going into a tournament, having some strokes, being in the lead going in. But he ended up winning by, I think, 2 strokes. Let me confirm that. Yeah, Chad Ramey and Sammy Valimaki were tied for second at 27 under. He shot 29 under par with a 9 under final day. So incredible by Ben Griffin. Him getting his first win on tour and then winning again and then winning again. Being picked for the Ryder Cup team, like this is by far his most incredible season that he's ever had. And one of the more impressive breakout seasons we've seen. I mean, he's looking at the list of winners this season that have won multiple times. It's a small list, especially 3 times. Granted, one of his wins was a team event, but it still counts. It's still on his resume. It's on his record. He has won 3 times in one season on the PGA Tour. That's right up there with Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and now Ben Griffin. So killer season for Ben. Really pumped for him. He's sponsored by Mizuno. Love the people at Mizuno, and so it's fun to see them get some recognition with one of their staff players really just playing unbelievable golf. So congrats to Ben for winning a little over $1 million this week in Mexico, and just getting ready for the off season. The holiday season for him is looking good. But there's also some professional golf happening in Abu Dhabi, and there were some big names down the stretch there as well. We had Tommy Fleetwood and Rory McIlroy, both right in the mix down the stretch, but turned out to be Aaron Rai who got the win. Him and his 2 gloves and his iron covers got the win. So I know Aaron Rai has had a few breakout seasons, some really good performances on the PGA Tour to become a more well-known name, and so it's fun to see him do well. And some of those stories of humble beginnings, he told the story before about why he puts head covers on his irons, because I know that's usually frowned upon in the golf community or looked down upon. But him coming from humble beginnings and really taking care of his equipment is a cool story. If you haven't heard him talk about that before, he talks about how when he would get clubs, he and his dad would really try as hard as possible to take care of them. And after every round, he and his dad would oil the grooves of every club, every one of his irons, and really just try to keep them nice, pure, and pristine. Iron covers on all of them, just because they were very valuable to him. And even now, as a professional golfer who's winning a lot of money, like he just won a tournament, won a whole lot of money, he can afford new golf clubs. He gets free golf clubs from sponsors, but keeps those same habits of taking care of his equipment. Um, so cool story, cool background. Pumped for Aaron Rai for getting the win, but also always fun to see Rory and Tommy in the mix in the fall, keeping them sharp because come springtime, we have a few regular season events to get warmed up before the Masters, before major season kicks off. And so these guys definitely will be taking breaks, slow down quite a bit since the end of the season, but are still out there fighting, trying to grind out golf tournaments and win. So great to see some of them in the mix all over the world here golfing in November. Um, the but yeah, thinking of Aaron Rai and Ben Griffin winning golf tournaments, how hard it is to close out golf tournaments um, and play consistently. Like looking at Ben Griffin shooting in the low 60s for 4 days in a row. It's what really separates the pros from your average golfer or your amateur golfer. Uh, they're just so consistent. This weekend, I was able to play a lot of golf. My dad came to visit me, and we played in the member guest here at my local club, and it was a great time, but just is another testament about how hard tournament golf is and playing consistently. I had a terrible first day and a pretty decent second day. I shot, I think, 85 and then 72. So it was one of those things where you don't know what the difference is between day one and day two. Your swing isn't really that much different, but the ball just seems to find the hole a little more easy for some reason. There's no drastic changes that happen, but member guests, super fun tournament. I love all sorts of tournament golf playing in it, but got me thinking about the format of member guests. There was a little bit of drama with this tournament here at my local club of a little bit of switching back and forth on what the format was going to be and whether or not it should be a scramble or a Texas scramble or just a net best ball. Obviously, being a member guest, it was a net tournament. Ended up being flighted into what would be more like pool play. It's not necessarily flights, but multiple pools with all ranges of handicaps. And if you win in your pool or your flight, then you get to go to the 3-hole alternate shot shootout at the end to ultimately determine who wins the tournament. And I thought that was an awesome format because, one, being a member guest, you want your guests to be able to come and play the whole course. Scrambles, I think, can be fun. It's not my favorite format, especially if you're paying money to play golf. I want to play my ball and see how I do at the golf course. So with guests coming in to play in tournaments, I think scrambles aren't my favorite to do. But if we're talking charity events or things like that, or you're competing with groups of friends doing something more for fun, but if you're trying to compete in real golf, I like the formats where you're able to play your own ball, get your own score, and then from there determine the champion, whether it's a net best ball, some sort of Chicago style scoring, whatever it may be. But we ended up doing that net best ball with your pool play after the first 2 days, after 36 holes. Then they take the low net score of each flight. Every team who led each flight got to go into that alternate shot. So I thought it was a great format, super fun. Our club here, the 500 club, did a good job of putting that on and handing out some cool swag and have a casino night in between the 2 days. And so it was a great time. Always love playing that, especially going into fall and winter time. Playing in North Carolina is always a blast because where I'm from in Utah, it's really cold and courses are closing or already closed. But here we get to play pretty much all year round as long as it doesn't snow, and the golf courses are still in great shape. The grass is starting to go dormant, but greens are being painted now to stay green and are in great shape for being in November, something I'm not used to. So I'm looking forward to playing a lot more golf myself and still following the FedEx Cup Fall to see who is going to earn their status. Just as a quick follow-up with some of the past episodes that I have posted about some of the bubble players, the one that I keep looking at is Joel Damon. After this tournament, he made the cut in Mexico, which is great. Super pumped for him making the cut, but he is still in the 109th position for the FedEx Cup Fall. So he's got to make up some ground. He's got a couple more tournaments to do that in order to get his status for 2026. So really pulling for Joel. Haven't been able to record as many episodes because of my dad coming in town and we were playing golf ourselves. So able to do that. Looking forward to getting back into the mix, recording more episodes. I appreciate you listening, and we'll talk next time.